There is a moment, and this moment doesn't care who you are, where you come from, what you've achieved, or how tough you think you are. It arrives uninvited, unexpected, unapologetic. Sometimes it slips in like fog, inch by inch, soft, deceptive, slow. Other times it crashes down like a thunderclap in your chest, fast, ruthless, final. Either way, it arrives, and everything goes quiet. But this isn't the quiet of peace. Not the gentle kind of silence you crave after a long day. Not the calming hush of meditation or sleep or the forest. Number, this is the other kind of quiet. The kind that suffocates instead of soothes. The kind that presses against your skull like invisible hands, reminding you of everything that's missing. This is the quiet that speaks louder than screams. The quiet that breaks the illusion. It's in this stillness, this haunting, cold silence, that the truth begins to whisper. And what it says is not sweet. It's not sugar-coated. It's not inspirational or poetic. It's brutal. And it says, no one is coming. No one is checking on you. No one sees the slow breakdown behind your eyes. And even if they do, they look away. Not because they hate you, but because they can. That's the moment you realize just how alone you truly are. Not in the physical sense, but in the emotional, spiritual, existential abyss kind of way. You might be standing in a crowd. You might be in a relationship. You might be surrounded by family. And still, you feel like a ghost, like you're present but fading, visible but unseen, alive but unacknowledged. You could be a teenager trying to understand why your parents don't hear your silent screams. You could be 25, surrounded by fake smiles and plastic friendships, wondering if anyone actually knows you. You could be 40, with a spouse who sleeps beside you but doesn't feel you anymore. You could be 60, and realize the friends you grew up with now speak in past tense. It doesn't matter how old you are. This realization doesn't check your birth date before it hits you like a cold wave. And once it does, everything changes. The most terrifying part of this shift isn't that people leave loudly. It's that they leave quietly. The friends who used to text every day just stop. The family who used to say we're always here for you vanish when your pain gets too uncomfortable to witness. The lover who once swore forever suddenly becomes emotionally mute, withdrawing piece by piece until you're lying next to a stranger with your heart still in your hand. And when you finally open your eyes wide enough, you realize you weren't loved for who you are, but for what you gave. You weren't cared for deeply. You were tolerated as long as you were useful, pleasant, manageable. You weren't truly seen, only projected upon. The connection you thought was sacred was conditional. The love you believed was eternal was rented, not owned. The loyalty you offered freely was never truly matched. What's left after they leave? Just you. You, sitting in the rubble of expectations. You, standing in the ashes of old narratives. You, holding the broken mirror that once reflected your old identity, the one that relied on being loved to feel real. You, surrounded by silence. But this silence is not empty. It's full of memories and echoes. The echo of I'll always be here for you. The echo of I understand you. The echo of laughter that now feels like betrayal in disguise. And those echoes bounce around inside you until they don't hurt anymore. Until they evolve. Until they transform. Because this silence, as brutal as it is also your rebirth. It's the death of illusion, the death of dependency, the death of the version of you who believed they needed to be saved. And this is where it begins. This moment, this quiet, terrifying, unbearable silence, is not the end. It's the start of the most important transformation you'll ever go through. It's the beginning of learning how to stand on your own, hear your own voice without needing applause, cry without shame. Burn without begging for rescue. Because what breaks you today is the same thing that will build the invincible version of you tomorrow. 1. They weren't your friends. You were filling a role. When the dust settles and you finally look with clear eyes, you'll see. They liked the version of you that made them comfortable. They liked you when you agreed, when you entertained, when you played the part they cast you in. But the moment you showed emotion, the moment you struggled, the moment you needed something back, they vanished. That wasn't friendship. That wasn't love. That was conditional access. You didn't lose real people. You lost false masks. That's a gift. 2. Pain is not punishment. It's your initiation. You cried. You overthought. You blamed yourself. You hated waking up in your own skin. But what if I told you this wasn't your punishment? What if this was your invitation? The pain you're feeling, the regret, the isolation, the wondering what's wrong with me, that's not proof of failure. That's the universe burning away everything fake. You're not dying. You're being reborn. But only if you let yourself see the truth. 3. The world isn't against you. It's indifferent. You thought nature would protect the good-hearted. You thought the weak would be lifted. You thought being kind would save you. But nature doesn't see good or bad. It sees strong and fragile. It sees adaptation or destruction. This doesn't mean life is evil. It means life is a forge. If you're burning, it's because something within you is being reforged. Don't run. Let it shape you. The Stoics knew pain. They knew exile, betrayal, poverty, loss, loneliness, war. But they didn't break. They transcended. Let's break down how you do the same. 4. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor who felt like a ghost. He ruled the world, but felt alone in his own court. His own wife may have betrayed him. His own son was a disgrace. His friends, manipulators. But he wrote this in Meditations. When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love. He wasn't numb. He was clear. He saw suffering as part of the divine order, and rather than demand comfort, he embraced the weight of the world with calm fire. That's what you must do. 5. Seneca, the philosopher who was ordered to die. Seneca was betrayed by the emperor he helped raise, Nero. On the day Nero demanded his death, Seneca slit his own wrists in front of his family, but did so calmly, like he was just washing his hands. Why? Because he was already free. He had built a soul that could not be touched. No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself. You don't need revenge, you need to outgrow what hurt you. 6. Epictetus, the slave who became a master. He was born into slavery, beaten, mistreated, ignored. But he said, we cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. Your loneliness is not your end. It's your test, your chance to choose. Will you collapse? Or will you rise from the ashes with steel in your soul? You want freedom? You want peace? You want power? Then this is your blueprint. 1. Kill the fantasy. Stop pretending they'll come back. Stop hoping they'll change. Stop replaying conversations. They already showed you who they are. Now you show yourself who you are. 2. Build the mental fortress. The inner citadel, as the Stoics called it, is a state where nothing external can shake your core. You build it through daily journaling, face your chaos. Cold exposure, harden your will. Rejection training, kill fear. Discipline rituals, turn pain into fuel. 3. Burn the identity of the victim. You were not just betrayed, you were trained. Every heartbreak, every cold shoulder, every fake friend, they were all teachers. And the lesson was, no one will give you the strength. You have to become it. 4. Become self-sustaining emotionally. You must learn to praise yourself, forgive yourself, push yourself, calm yourself, because no one else will do it. And once you stop expecting it, you become dangerous in the best way. You're standing at the edge now. The old you, dependent, fragile, hopeful, is dying. You see the world now. You see that. Some people only loved you when you were silent. Some relationships were built on your self-erasure. Some friends were only there to take. And yet, you are still here, standing, breathing, seeing clearly for the first time. There comes a moment, not when you're saved, but when you stop needing to be. You realize you were never put on this earth to be rescued. Not by friends, not by lovers, not by parents, not by fate, not by God. You were meant to burn, to collapse, and then rise, to be abandoned, and still stand, to be unseen, and still shine. You were meant to walk through the kind of fire that melts illusions, scorches weakness, and incinerates every false identity you ever wore just to be accepted. You were built for this crucible, because not everyone was made to rise from ashes, but you were, becoming your own damn sun. You don't need to orbit anyone anymore. You are not someone's moon, quietly reflecting borrowed light. You are not someone's backup warmth when their skies turn cold. You are the damn sun now. Unignorable, undeniable, unstoppable. You generate your own heat. You radiate from your own core. You don't beg to be seen. Your existence demands it. Your glow is no longer a gift handed out in hopes of being loved. It's a force of nature, and if it blinds the ones who betrayed you, let it. You weren't born to dim. The loneliness wasn't your enemy. It was your midwife. You used to fear being alone. You used to feel the ache like it was punishment. You thought silence was proof that something was wrong with you. But now you see it. The loneliness didn't come to destroy you. It came to deliver you. Because in that silence, in that cold, in that absence, you discovered something no one else could give you yourself. You found the parts of you that don't need permission to exist. The strength that doesn't ask to be understood. The calm that doesn't require noise. The power that doesn't flinch under pressure. Loneliness wasn't the grave. It was the womb. You weren't buried. You were planted. And now you grow flames. The world owes you nothing, and that's your freedom. The world doesn't owe you kindness. It doesn't owe you fairness. It doesn't owe you apology, closure, or clarity. It doesn't owe you support, forgiveness, or even understanding. And the minute you stop expecting it to, the minute you stop begging for people to give you what they were never capable of, you become limitless. You stop living life like it's some courtroom, waiting for justice. You stop auditioning for love in rooms where the judges are blind. You stop shrinking to fit into spaces that were never built for someone like you. You take back every piece of yourself that you handed out in desperation. And you reclaim your fire, not to burn others, but to light your own way. You are the light, the rage, the calm. You don't need validation. You are the voice now. You don't need rescue. You are the storm now. You don't need love to survive. You are the source of love itself. You are the light in the room no one could brighten for you. You are the rage that says, I will not die small. You are the calm that comes after the battle. Standing tall, blood on your fists, silence in your eyes, and peace in your bones. You are not the victim of your story anymore. You are the author, and every page from here on is sacred. Let them leave, and then leave them in dust. Let them forget you. Let them rewrite the past. Let them tell themselves you were the problem. Let them misremember your kindness as weakness. Let them believe they've won. Because here's the truth. You're not just moving on. You're ascending. And from that height, where your mind is clear, your heart is clean, and your soul is on fire, their names become weightless. Their memory becomes vapor. Their approval becomes irrelevant. Their absence becomes a gift. You are not broken. You are battle-forged. You are not bitter. You are awake. You are not alone. You are undeniably you, and that is more than enough. Now go, burn brighter, stand taller, let the world feel your heat, because you are the fire, and there is no going back. The greatest souls are forged in fire, not comfort,